subjectivity is constructed or produced not by human nature, but through ideology, discourse, or language. Okay. These are three different positions. Okay. The most influential development of Marx's notion of social being, okay, was Louis Althusser's theory of the subject's construction by ideology. Okay. According to Althusser, a subject is constructed by ideology. A very famous theory of Althusser regarding ideological state apparatus and repressive state apparatus will be mentioned later. Ideology is the system of ideas that explains or makes sense of a society, and according to Marx is the mechanism by which unequal social relations are reproduced. Okay. Unequal social relations are reproduced using ideology. Okay. Ideology is a false consciousness according to Marx. Okay. Ideology, Marx calls it a false consciousness. Two things that you have to have very strong base in Marxism is the concept of base and superstructure. Okay. What Marx tells us is superstructure is where the ideology is existing. Okay. Ideology is there in the realm of superstructure. Okay. There are certain domineering ideas that control our activities in the base or in the society. Okay. Right? Suppose we respect someone, it is because of the ideology with which we are part of. Okay. Suppose you honor a social hierarchy without questioning it, it's because you believe that things should be like this. What Marx tries to tell us is unequal social divisions are legitimized because of ideology. Legitimized, become valid, made valid by ideology. Ideology makes people believe that certain social formations are the natural formations, but they are not natural formations. Okay, they are unnatural social formations. These unnatural formations are made to be or appear to be natural, appear to be normal because ideology is existing above our heads. Okay, right? Here, what I mean by natural is, if you do not question something, if you simply accept it as commonsensical, it can be called natural. Okay. Understand? Right? For example, in Marxian terms, the capitalist classes employ the working classes to produce. Okay. Mode of production, whatever be the mode of production. Okay. If your mode of production is an agrarian mode of production, an owner will have lot of lands. Okay. He will have land, he or she will have land, he will possess land. Okay. And he will employ the working classes to till the land to produce, okay, whatever he wants to produce, agriculture. Okay. Right? And what happens is that the amount of profit earned by the owner is much more than the amount of money spent on the people who are working. Okay. People who are working are given wages. Okay. Wages sometimes are given in the form of, shall we say, the goods produced by or there is a big disparity between the earnings of both these classes. Okay. While the working classes consistently work, the owner class never works. Okay. Understand? But they earn more profit. So the working classes are made to believe that this is the natural way in which things should be. We are born to be workers, they are born to be owners. Okay. What is normal is decided by your ideology. Okay. Understand? Okay. So a worker feels that he is bound to be working throughout his life, never becoming an owner. Okay. And an owner believes that it is his natural right that he can exploit the workers. Okay. It is God has given him natural powers, okay, to exploit these working classes. Okay. That is, his mission is this, the other person's mission is that. Okay. That's the kind of thing. Okay. That is how we distinguish between natural and shall we say unnatural. in Marxian terms. The ruling classes, here it's very clear here, the ruling classes not only rule, they rule as thinkers and producers of ideas so that they determine how the society sees itself. Okay. How the society sees itself is determined by a certain group of people. Okay. It's not by everyone else. Okay. And that is what we call hegemony in that is unnatural systems are presented to be in nature, okay, right? This misinterpretation of meaning and social relations is referred to by Marx as false consciousness. Okay? This is not a right way of thinking, it's a false consciousness. This is a make-believe. Okay? This is a make-believe. Okay? Everybody is made to believe in a system which is not normal, not natural, as if they are normal, as if they are natural. Therefore, it is to be considered as false consciousness. Ideology is operated through two means, according to Gramsci. One is coercion, the other is consent. Okay. Sometimes you may be forced to believe it. Okay, right? The other way is your consent is sought. Okay. You are made to believe that this is how. Okay. You come to an agreement. Okay. I will do this, you will do that. Okay. That's a kind of agreement. Okay. Mutual agreement. Okay. That is consent. Okay. But for Althusser, ideology is not just a case of powerful imposing their ideas on the weak. Subjects are born into ideology. They find subjectivity within the explanations of their parents and their society. Okay. No, but Althusser's concept of ideology is slightly different. He says that a person is born into a particular ideology. Okay. It is similar to the philosophical notion of thrownness into being. Okay. Ideology is not just a case of the powerful imposing their ideas on the weak. Subjects are born into ideology. They find subjectivity within the expectations of their parents and their society. Okay. And they endorse it because it provides a sense of identity and security through structures such as language. Okay. So one is born into an ideology. What he indirectly means to tell is, when a person is initiated into language, he or she learns the ideology there. So even in Foucauldian terms, in the morning, father is going for work. Okay, father is telling the daughter, please take care of your mother. Okay, father is off to work. Okay. So what message does the child get? The child understands that mother is a person who has to stay at home. Father is the breadwinner of the family. He has to go out. One person has to stay back home, one person has to. This message is indirectly conveyed through language. The moment you learn language, you become part of the ideology. You become part of that. The very words that we use designate our roles in the society. So therefore, Althusser's notion is that one is born into an ideology. You cannot escape from that. In ideology, the subjects also represent themselves, their relation to those conditions of existence which is represented to them there. Okay. So, subjects establish a relationship with the conditions of their existence. Ideology is perpetuated, according to Althusser, by ideological state apparatuses. Okay. There is some very slight difference between Althusser's and Marx's concept of ideology. Okay. Ideology basically means the ideational arena of all our activities. Okay. Right? When you operate in a society, you operate based on certain notions that you have got. Where do these notions come? According to Marxian system, these notions come from your ideology. How do you operate in a society? You operate based on certain instructions that you get from yourself. Okay. Where do these instructions come from? These instructions come from your ideology. The social structure. But Althusser's difference in ideology is that Althusser tells that one is not acquiring an ideology, but rather one is born into an ideology. You have no escape from your ideology. You are born into an ideology. You are thrown into a particular ideological area. Okay. And this ideological arena is entering into your system through language. The same issue is looked at in different way by Lacan. Lacan's, he talks about different stages in a child's development. For example, there are stages like, pre-Oedipal stage, Oedipal stage, symbolic stage, mirror stage and all that. Is that. So different stage something is happening. So, for example, feminist thinkers like Julia Kristeva, they say that initiation into language is the point at which an individual become part of the patriarchal system, male-centered system, because language is, is the agent of this patriarchy, That is what is often referred to as a pre-Oedipal stage. Pre-Oedipal stage is the stage when you have not learned the language. And that language is considered to be the purer form of language in which child is having a mother-centered kind of language, not a father-controlled patriarchal system. So that is another view of looking at it. When you move from structuralism to post-structuralism, there is one of the key observations made by Saussure. That is, meaning is a product of differentiation. That there is accepts. One is, cat is a cat because it is not anything else. Understand? Differentiation. This particular point he accepts. And another thing that he accepts signifier, but he does not accept signified. So this is there. When you go from Freud to Lacan, the approach is slightly different. The terminology is different. You can find the same idea repeated there in a different manner. That's of course there. So ideology is perpetuated according to Althusser by ideological state apparatuses such as church, education, police, which interpolates the subject. That is, apparatuses that call people forth. Interpolation means calling forth, as subjects, That is, ideology interpolates individuals as subjects. When you are under the control of someone, when you are controlled by someone, when you are, shall we say, under whose control are you functioning, Right? That tells you about your subject position. Interpolation has been explained the following way. When a policeman hails you with a call, hey you, the moment you turn round to acknowledge that you are the object of his attention. Suppose you are acknowledging that you are the object of his attention, you have been interpolated in a particular way as a